Hello everyone, my name is HeyGen, and I'm an engine planner in 诛仙 world. A few years ago, when I heard that a new PC game project was going to be launched, I chose to join the big family, without hesitation. Now, we are working hard to optimize and develop more engine features, so that everyone can have a better gaming experience. I am getting closer to the public toilet. I am happy, but I also have a lot of work to do. Today, I plan to sort out a few things on hand. I've prepared concise explanations of graphics options and their effects for my teammates, including DLSS frame generation, and third testing phase questions. For instance, there's demanding FSR, and future work for the new project team. Why create a more intuitive video of? So, why did we decide to create a more intuitive video version of the graphics options and their effects? It's mainly because many of our friends have given us feedback that with so many options, it can be overwhelming, and they really don't know what each one does. So, we've been working hard to prepare some content in this area, hoping it will be helpful for everyone. The Lumen global illumination system can provide high-quality indirect lighting effects for the game, but it also comes with a significant performance cost and memory usage, which is directly related to screen resolution. The game offers two settings, medium and high. At higher resolutions, the performance cost for the high-quality setting noticeably increases. The higher the screen resolution, the greater the impact on performance. We tested the performance of Lumen at different settings under 1080p, 2K, and 4K resolutions. When using the 4080S to render 4K game graphics with Lumen turned off, we could achieve over 110 frames per second. After selecting the medium setting for the surface, the visuals made a significant leap in quality. There were more natural lighting effects from light bouncing in the corners under the eaves, but the frame rate dropped to around 100. When I switched to high, the light reflections became even more realistic, but the frame rate went down to about 90. Using a 3080 Ti to render at 2K and a 2070 for 1080p. The higher the Lumen setting, the more realistic the lighting and shadow effects of the game will be, but it will sacrifice some frame rate performance. Please choose the setting that suits you in the actual game. The game also provides appetite supersampling algorithms such as TSR DLSS, allowing the game to be rendered at a lower resolution than the native resolution. By accumulating multiple frames of pixel samples, we can achieve visuals that rival those at native resolution. You can adjust the supersampling level to reduce the GPU performance load and memory usage of various rendering features, including Lumen, significantly boosting game performance at high resolutions, especially 4K resolution. Adjusting the supersampling level can greatly improve performance with almost no loss of image quality. We compared the performance of various graphics cards using different supersampling algorithms under the testing conditions of the RTX 4080 Super paired with a 4K display. When we selected the DLSS supersampling level to cinematic quality, the visuals were the clearest and the effects were the best. The frame rate was around 45 frames per second. We then gradually changed the supersampling level to high quality, balanced quality, and performance. And we could see the frame rate gradually increase from 45 to about 110, while the game visuals didn't suffer too much in quality. Under the testing conditions of the RTX 3080 Ti paired with a 2K display, we selected the TSR supersampling level. The frame rate performance improved from around 50 frames per second to about 90 frames per second, with almost no impact on the game visuals. That's the magic of supersampling. It can bring outstanding performance improvements to games on high-resolution displays. So, if you find the frame rate a bit low while exploring the map, you might want to try adjusting the supersampling level. The quality of materials, shadows, and vegetation can also incur significant performance costs in complex gaming scenarios. You can adjust the quality settings to balance visual performance and frame rates. Those are some important graphic settings that affect game frame rates, including display resolution, Lumen, supersampling levels, shadows, materials, and vegetation quality, among others. First, remember to adjust the settings to what works best for you while playing. To run 诛仙 smoothly at high graphics quality, you not only need a high-performance GPU, but also a powerful CPU is essential. The following test results are free from GPU bottlenecks to ensure the accuracy of the CPU performance comparison. This is important because in the game, there are many players present at the same time, especially during large-scale battles in the main city. When a lot of players are active simultaneously, the CPU has to handle a significant amount of physics simulation. The character animation calculations, special effects, and particle simulations, among other tasks, also need to handle a lot of game logic, generating numerous rendering commands to submit to the GPU. So, to run the game smoothly under high load, the CPU also needs to have good performance. We compared the FPS of multiple CPUs when displaying different numbers of players in the main city and ensured that the GPU had no performance bottleneck. When displaying 150 players in the core center, the i7-14700 can reach around 60 FPS. Even the older 8700 can still perform at over 30 frames per second. We also conducted frame rate comparisons with 80 and 40 players, and it's clear that the number of players displayed in the game can enhance the overall performance. So, if you notice lag in crowded areas, you might want to try adjusting the player display settings. The DLSS frame generation technology can significantly boost the game's frame rate. To enable this technology, you need to use NVIDIA's RTX 40 series graphics cards and turn on hardware-accelerated GPU scheduling in the operating system. When using high resolutions, especially with 4K displays, you need to ensure that the GPU has enough video memory when enabling frame generation. To avoid stability issues in the game caused by insufficient video memory, it's important to note that this is a large-scale online game featuring hundreds of players on screen at once. Therefore, the requirements for the graphics card's memory capacity and computational load are quite high. After multiple tests, we found that for 2K displays with DLSS frame generation enabled, the graphics card should have at least 12 GB of memory. For 4K displays with frame generation enabled, the graphics card needs to have 16 GB of memory. When running games on the 40 series graphics cards, if you've already turned off frame generation in the graphics settings, you might still encounter crashes and other stability issues during gameplay. You can try checking the option to disable DLSS frame generation in the launcher to avoid any potential system compatibility issues. If you still find it a bit hard to understand, that's okay, because when you first launch the game, the program will recommend settings based on your hardware. We've always been keeping an eye on everyone's comments and feedback across various platforms, and we make sure to record or save them. So today, I plan to read some comments directly and answer some questions that everyone has been really curious about since they were 3 years old. Let's take a look at this comment. Many of the points mentioned are from my survey. I'm really grateful for all the suggestions you've given me over time. It helps us open our minds and perspectives. Bilibili also has the read masking feature. Haha, it's hilarious. Who chose this chicken leg meme? For the Steam version. Will there ever be a mobile cloud gaming option? What about office workers wanting to sneak in some tasks? No, it really doesn't. Can a pure-blooded online game run on a 1650? The minimum requirement for the standard client is a 1060, so any graphics card with similar performance should be able to run. If you're using a lightweight laptop with an integrated graphics card, don't worry. We also have a fast version of the client with FSR. After the third version of FSR, we noticed a lot of players expressing interest in it, so we held an internal discussion specifically about FSR. We're currently working on adapting FSR supersampling and frame interpolation technology for the game. This includes the stability of the game's visual performance. Under extreme high load conditions, after adding the overhead from FSR, we focus on the overall stability of the game, compatibility on target machines, and input latency adjustments. We've integrated supersampling and frame interpolation technology into the benchmark. Everyone can participate in testing to help us improve any issues you might encounter. By the time you see this video, the benchmark has been updated and the FSR feature is now available, so please check the pinned information in the comments. We hope to officially integrate the FSR version of the game and share it with you all soon. A lot of players have been asking about the development progress of the fast version and the Mac version. Previously, during the progress update, we actually tested a machine that was a certain brand's 14-inch ultra-thin laptop with an i5-12450H integrated graphics card, 16 GB of RAM, and a 512 GB SSD. The fast version is compatible with most hardware on the market, and it runs quite smoothly. The test version of the fast client package is 41 GB, and we will try our best to compress it further before the launch. Overall, the progress of the fast version is quite promising, and we can basically ensure that it will launch simultaneously during the open beta. We hope that more friends can enjoy the world of Zhuxian. As for the Mac version, it's currently under active development, but it can already run the game normally. If you have any other questions later on, feel free to leave comments on our official accounts across various platforms. We will see them. That's all for this episode, and I hope it clears up some of your previous doubts. Moving forward, we also plan to continuously optimize the game's stability and improve performance to enhance your gaming experience. There's also the highly praised hair technology. On one side, keeping performance in mind, we temporarily disabled the hair technology in our subsequent tests. Moving forward, we will continue to invest effort into optimizing the performance of the hair technology and aim to implement it into the game as soon as possible, providing players with a silky smooth experience. We also plan to use film-quality high-precision assets in the game to bring a more realistic gaming environment to everyone. We'll work hard on this.